2023 will always be defined as the year that artificial intelligence became a reality to the general public, realizing our ability to engage with this advanced technology through natural language. It also played somewhat of a role in pushing equity markets to near all-time highs. But have you ever thought about using AI as a theme escalator? Curious? Well, I am too, so we're going to talk about that right now on UBS Trending. Hi, everybody, and thank you for joining us. I'm Anthony Pastore, and this is UBS Trending. Thanks for being with us today. Brian Blongesteiner is my guest today. Brian, it's okay. I don't even know where to start because AI is such a huge and broad topic, and we've talked about it. As we said in the open, 2023 was the year that we realized ChatGPT was a reality. We could speak in regular language to this new artificial intelligence, and it's going to spit out incredible results. But what's happening right now? Because that was 2023. Now we're in 2024. It's continuing to evolve. We're seeing it used in different ways. What do you think artificial intelligence impact will be this year coming up versus what we saw last year?
Yeah, entering 2023, we didn't know that large language models and generative AI were really going to take the public by storm and really lift stock markets. We're entering 2024, and there's obviously challenges within AI. There are concerns: do we have enough chips? Do we have enough compute power? What is the cost to implement the artificial intelligence for smaller companies, and is that cost too high to get the efficiencies? There's concerns about energy, and there's concerns over regulations. But as we enter 2024, we see significant tailwinds that will continue to drive artificial intelligence. And there's new terms that people are going to know entering 2025. That is agents, that is on-device AI, that's large action models, and then the edge. We're starting to get closer and closer to the edge. So we see significant opportunity in 2024. We see the markets broadening out. This is a very large ecosystem. It changes every day with huge innovations. So we see tremendous opportunities. New words are going to enter the mainstream for the mainstream consumer, and it's very exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. It's also let's be real. It's also a little scary because it's new. It's somewhat unknown. You know, I don't know if my father knows about ChatGPT, but he's sort of learning about it. But people who are in the know are maybe starting to use it. Companies are starting to bring it onto their own systems to make it a proprietary version for their own uses. We don't have it quite here at UBS yet, but finance is always the last one to get involved because it's tricky. But give me an example. You mentioned those three things, like the edge. You talked about large action models. What are some examples of those that maybe we already know about? Yeah,
so agents we already know about. So agents is essentially an if-then function. So if this happens, take that action. So in 2024, we're going from an assistance to an action. So that's where AI is transitioning. And so within an agent, you can think of a few things like your smart home. If Anthony walks into the room, turn the lights on. When Anthony leaves the house and closes the garage door, turn the heat down. So smart homes are going to continue to get smarter and smarter. So we already have that technology. Autonomous driving, the cars, self-driving cars, are basically just a whole network of agents. If this happens, then that happens. So these are examples of agents, and those agents in the cars are all working together. But in the future, we could see agents in education. It's your personal educator. It's your personal tutor. So my daughter studying for the SATs now, she might be struggling in a certain area. So this AI agent would learn what her strengths are, what her weaknesses are, but also what her best way to learn is. Is it auditory? Is it visual? So for me, education, I was a teacher, in a past life 25 years ago, teaching special education. So I can see a great opportunity for these products coming to education and really being assistance for our students and to help them learn.
Yeah, the whole education component is really interesting. I feel like that's a very separate conversation. Teachers are having to sort of pivot, knowing that students have access to this technology and how do they teach that way. But I know you recently traveled to Asia, and it actually, your story really sets the tone for how advantageous this technology is. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so right now we're also seeing the introduction of large action models as well. So this is really augmentation of an agent. And so we think that there's a paradigm shift going from these large language models in 2023 to these large action models in 2024. So essentially you can train these models, and these models can understand what you do, how you behave, what you want to do, and then it can take that action for you. So essentially it says, this is what you want to do, this is what I need to do to get it done, and it gets it done for you. So when we combine the technology of the large language model with the agent, with the large action model, so now what we're seeing is real-time language translation.
It's incredible.
So yeah, so phones are starting to come out with this, earbuds are starting to come out with this. this. So, using education as the example again, my children also have a lot of students in their classes that are English as a second language. And so obviously communication is a huge barrier. And if we can break that barrier down in education, then students can learn, teachers can communicate with them, students can communicate back, but also it helps them on the social side. And just quickly on the trip, I went to Japan. It was an amazing trip, met with a bunch of clients a few weeks ago. And in a half of those meetings, we did have a translator. So it minimizes the amount of interaction you have. So it minimizes the knowledge sharing that you can have, the education I can get from my clients, what they want, and how I can help them best. And if we can break down those barriers, there's a significant opportunity for continued learning, continued interaction, continued knowledge sharing. So for me, that real-time linguistic translation is
It's straight out of science fiction, Brian. I mean, and for me, growing up watching all those sci-fi shows like Star Trek, they would have an implant and their brain would automatically just spit out the proper language.
Yes.
Maybe that's coming someday. It seems like we're getting closer to that being an experimental. But even today, we're already using AI. We've got it on our phones, we've got it on our watches, we've got it in our homes, like you said, our home devices. And eyewear is becoming a more popular thing. Where are we going with all of this?
Yeah, so essentially we're just converging all of that technology with all the functionality, and that's going to be the future. So the iPhone did that with, so many of the things we use, from the phone book to our maps to everything. And so going forward, we see a convergence of all of this.
Yeah.
So essentially, we're seeing it now. There's a device out there now that will do tasks for you. So it has Wi-Fi and LTE right on it, and you can tell it to order you food. You can tell it to order you an Uber. It'll go ahead and do it. So it's using that large action model to do that. So in the future, it just opens up your imagination, right? Just like generative AI opened up the imagination for enterprises in 2023, we see 2024 really coming to the consumer. So if you can get a product that has all of that functionality, where it can see what you see, it can hear what you hear, it might have biosensors and biometrics to measure your health, measure your reaction to these events, but then it also has the Wi-Fi connectivity. It can do actions for you. It can do the real-time linguistic translation for you. It's mind-blowing to understand or think about what the possibilities are in the future.
I hope I don't have to rely on my Wi-Fi at home because I'm unplugging my modem. Unplug it for 1 minute, and I'm like, okay, here we go again.
Yeah.
So it is exciting. It's also, because there is going to be a lot of efficiency that's added into that. Obviously, a lot of opportunity too for consumers to purchase, which means it's good for investors at some point. What's the investment case here if you look 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, so 5 to 10 years, it's about the device. It's about who has the right device that can put this all together. It's about the reach, it's about the scale, it's about being vertically integrated so you can do it all. All of the infrastructure within the AI architecture and AI space at this point is really getting us to that point. Chips are smaller, chips are faster, data can be analyzed on device. Now we're getting closer and closer to the edge. And so who's going to win that edge race? So we see a huge upgrade cycle, first and foremost, within hardware. So our personal phones, our work computers, these are all going to be upgraded.
Right.
So they're all going to have chips. They're all going to be able to do that analysis. They're all going to have the agents on top of it that you can interact with. The other thing I didn't mention is that we're going from like the GUI, the graphic user interface, to a conversational user interface. So we're all going to be able to talk to these. So in 5 to 10 years, it's the device that can do everything for you. It might be a watch, it might be earbuds, it's probably going to be glasses. 64% of the world has vision correction at this point, some sort of vision correction. So that's an easy transition.
Yeah, I'm sure at some point it'll be like right on my contact lenses. I'll be able to actually see things directly, like the Bionic Man did in the 1970s.
Yeah,
I'm old enough to remember that show.
Yes.
It's great, Brian. It's exciting, and that this conversation can go on forever. Obviously, there are risks as well, as we know from New Hampshire last week. There were robocalls from seemingly President Biden. AI did that, and hopefully with this new technology comes faster detection devices, so we can quickly decipher what's real and what's not. And like you just told me in the beginning, the best way to know if it's real is to be sitting in a room like we're doing right now. So thanks, Brian. It's always good to talk about this, and thanks for sharing with us. Good stuff.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we'll have to have you back because this conversation, clearly it's evolving and there's more to talk about.
Every day. AI evolves every day. We can talk about AI every day and the innovations that are happening.
Should give you a regular spot because I feel like it's not going to go away anytime soon. Brian, thanks very much. Good to see you.
Thank you so much, Anthony.
And thank you all for joining us. There's lots of information on our website, ubs.com/views, from all of our best partners. So please take a look at that, as well as content from our Chief Investment Office here at UBS. And you can follow us on all social media platforms, including Instagram, for our dedicated @UBS Trending account. For studios content you're not going to find anywhere else. And don't forget, if you have questions about what we spoke about today, talk with your financial advisor. Until next time, I'm Anthony Pastore. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. And remember to keep your eyes on what's trending. We'll see you soon.